I want to start with a story. It's about a woman named Maria, a single mom with 2 kids making about $1,800 a month. And her story, it doesn't begin with some big, lofty goal. It starts with a number, a really specific and really stark number.
$47. That's it. This is what Maria had left at the end of every single month. I don't mean for fun or for savings. That was what was left. Period.
And yeah, that $47 was what was left over after all the essentials were paid for. You know, it's a number that doesn't really feel like a safety net. It feels more like a ticking clock, counting down to zero. That feeling of being totally trapped by your own bank account, she was just doing what so many of us do, just trying to hold it all together. Now, you have to understand, this was not some kind of overnight miracle story, not at all. The first week she actually tried to save money, she failed. In fact, her balance went down to $32, and she was so close to just giving up. Because that's the real truth about making a big change, right? It almost always gets a little worse before it gets better. But here's the thing, she didn't quit. And just 90 days later, this was her savings balance, $3,000. And this didn't come from a new job or a lucky break. It came from a new system, a system built on just 7 specific moves. So today, we're gonna walk through every single one of them. And don't worry, there are no complicated apps, no crazy spreadsheets, just real, actionable moves you can start making, like, this week. So let's dive into the first one. Okay, so move number 1 is all about just seeing. It's about financial awareness. This is the bedrock for everything else. Because it's so true, you just can't change what you can't see. So here's the challenge. For 7 days, just 1 week, you track every single dollar that you spend. I mean, everything. You can use an app, a little notebook, the back of an envelope. The tool really doesn't matter. The whole point is just to see where it's going. And what's wild is that most people who actually do this, they find somewhere between $50 and $100 in spending they had no idea was even happening. These are the little leaks that add up so fast. So, you find the leaks, you can see the money just trickling away. What's the absolute fastest way to plug that hole and get that cash back in your pocket right away? Well, that leads us right to the next move. Move number 2 is all about tackling what I call the subscription drain. You know what I'm talking about, that quiet, automatic spending that just hums along in the background month after month. It is the silent killer of any budget. Just look at this list. All those streaming services, music apps, that old gym membership you swore you'd use, cloud storage you forgot you even had. So here's the mission. Set a timer on your phone for 1 hour and do a full-on audit. Pull up your bank statements and just start canceling everything you don't use on a weekly basis. Seriously, you can always sign back up later. Your savings account, though, it won't wait. All right, so we found the leaks. Now we've got to take some deliberate action to make sure new ones don't pop up. And this third move, it's all about psychology, not about sacrifice. I want you to meet the 24-hour rule. It is so simple, it's brilliant. Before you buy anything that isn't an absolute essential, you know, like groceries or medicine, you just wait for 24 hours. That's it. And this isn't about having incredible willpower. It's about how your brain works. When you see something you want, your brain gets this little jolt, this chemical hit of desire. But that feeling, it fades. It has a half-life. And this right here, this proves just how powerful that waiting period is. The data shows that after just 24 hours have passed, 9 out of 10 times, people decide they never really needed that thing in the first place. The emotional urge is just gone, and you're left with logic. And just like that, you saved money without ever feeling like you gave anything up. Okay, move number 4 is about finding the savings that are basically hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about the bills you're already paying every single month. Your internet, your phone bill, your insurance. Look, these companies literally have entire departments dedicated to keeping you as a customer. Their whole job is to stop you from leaving. A simple phone call where you ask for a better rate and maybe you happen to mention what a competitor is charging, that is often all it takes to get an instant discount. Maria saved $87 a month on her very first call. The worst thing they can do is say no, but you'd be really surprised what they actually say instead. So we've made some really powerful moves. But tips? Tips are temporary. If you want this to last, you have to build a system. And move number 5 is where we start building that system with a small, physical habit that literally changes how you see yourself. This is the $5 habit. It's simple. Every single time you get a $5 bill as change, you don't spend it. You take it and you put it in a jar. Now let me be clear, this isn't about the math. It's about your identity. Maria said this was her big turning point because after just 2 weeks, she looked at that jar and saw $40. $40 she had chosen to keep. And for the very first time, she was holding physical proof that she could be a person who saves money. All right, let's talk about the move that makes all of this permanent. This is where we go from manual effort to an automatic system, a system that works for you even when you're not paying attention to it. Move number 6 is built on one of the most powerful ideas in personal finance: pay yourself first. It's simple. You set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account, and you schedule it for the exact day you get paid. It happens before you even have a chance to touch that money. And the beautiful truth is, money you never see is money you never miss. And where you send that money is hugely important. A standard savings account at a big bank gives you basically nothing. But a high-yield savings account, which, by the way, is just as safe and just as easy to open, it pays you over 400 times more in interest. No, that's not a typo. They can do this because they're mostly online banks with way less overhead, so they pass the savings on to you. This is how you get your savings to actually start working for you.
So, this is the whole point, right? You can't just rely on discipline or feeling motivated every single month. Life happens, it gets in the way. But a system runs on autopilot. This is the move that makes everything else stick for good.
And that brings us to the final move, move number 7. This is the one that Maria said made all the difference. It's the one that made everything else even possible. And it's not an action you take with your money, it's a change you make in your mind. You know, we all have these invisible scripts that play in our heads about money. Stories we learn from our parents or just absorbed from the world around us. Things like, oh, I could never save on my income, or the worst one, I'm just trying to do my best, which is usually code for, I feel like I have no control. Maria realized her script, her story, was simply, I am broke. And so she consciously and with intention replaced it. Every time she reached for her wallet, instead of thinking, I am broke, she started thinking this, I protect my money. And that right there, that is the 7th move. The shift is from focusing on what you do, like canceling a subscription, to deciding who you are. You're not someone who struggles to save. You are someone who protects your money. See, savers aren't born that way. They decide to be. And that one decision, it changes everything. So now you have it, the whole system. The exact same one that took $47 and turned it into $3,000 in just 90 days. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do with it? Let's just run through the system one last time. Track your spending for a week. Cancel those forgotten subscriptions. Use the 24-hour rule on impulse buys. Negotiate your bills. Start that $5 habit. Automate your savings into a high-yield account. And most importantly, change your identity from broke to someone who is a protector of their money. So here's the final thought. Maria's whole journey started with just one decision on a random Tuesday afternoon. So before you move on from this, I want you to pick one of these strategies. Just one, and do it right now. Your $3,000 moment starts today with just one decision.
If you found this helpful, please share this video with one person who needs it. And don't forget to watch the next video right now.